So during this time, a lot of guys were coming over from New York and hustling in DC. They're bringing coke over to DC, selling it at higher prices, and then repeating over and over again. Kevin Childs was one of the people that was doing that during that time. And he said that at one point, DC just started becoming too deadly, that a bunch of his friends started getting killed in DC.
Right.
And the violence level was getting to such a degree that he had to just stop doing it. Well, 4 people you knew got killed in DC.
Way more than 4 people.
Way more than 4.
Way more than 4 people.
Okay, how many people did you know got killed in DC exclusively?
I couldn't even count on I couldn't, a ridiculous amount of people lost their lives in DC. Like, I mean, if I had to put a number on it, well over 30 people probably lost their lives in DC throughout the time I was there.
And this was over drug deals gone bad, robberies?
Just anything that falls under the umbrella of selling illegal narcotics, there's no rules.
Okay. Did you yourself have any problems in DC?
You always have problems. It's just how you go about resolving them.
Okay. Do you remember that time?
Yeah, I remember, clear as day, like it was yesterday.
Okay. What was it about the New York and DC guys that started triggering all this violence?
It was it started off as a good partnership between DC and New York. Like, I had some partners that came down from New York that landed up Montana tourists that became like brothers to me. And to this day, we still, hold a tight bond. One of my brothers that passed away was just Demencio Benson. And we still, me and the other guys, we still held on to a close bond, a tight-knit bond that was formed back then in the 80s. So it was always love between us. I think what happened, what went wrong was when you got outside influences might get in another person's ear and pump this venom out there and poison in their ear and tell them, these dudes from New York, they don't fuck with you, they only down here to use you. Man, whatever they come down here, whatever they bring, kill them and take it from them, and we can sell it and we can get on ourselves. We don't need them no more.
Okay. Well, and one of those New York guys was Alpo. And after the whole situation in New York, where his man got killed and he was responsible for the murder, I guess he really set up shop in DC full time. And you actually knew Alpo during that time.
Well, I knew of him. I knew who he was. I had no dealings with him, though. I had no dealings with Alpo at all whatsoever.
Okay. And Wayne Perry was allegedly his hitman during that time. Did you know anything about all that shit that was happening around that?
Alpo and Wayne's situation, nah. I just would get glimpses and pieces of what was going on with Wayne if I run across him, and we'd talk. And I kind of like forewarned him before he even got to that from what I hear about Alpo's character is that he ain't to be trusted. And he's a snake. And I told Wayne, like, man, I think you might need to separate yourself from that. But Wayne, I think, was happy with the situation he was in and was pleased with whatever Alpo was giving him with. And he wasn't hearing me. He wasn't hearing nobody.
Well, ultimately, Alpo ended up telling on a lot of people. Wayne was one of them too, right?
Yeah, he told on him. Yeah.
Okay. When you heard about that, what'd you think?
I just shook my head because I told him. I told him, and once it came out that Alpo did tell on him, and I was able to see Wayne again, I didn't want to tell him, man, I told you so, but man, I told you so, man. You should have went on him, man, and got rid of him when you had the chance to get rid of him. Now look at you.